Ma me fa say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
So abushafo yese owe ofuonsa na wahwe wo de. To da wo ye nyoma bi a manye wa adwen se ade na wo ye no. O ye atia nua. Nyoma a wo fi se wo ye atia unua no. Ebe kwa dakro ebe san ba wo so. Yese kama exist. Ene MPP amanyokuo no ene omo parliamentarians a omo wo Ghana mrahye badwam. Abushafo omo ho ache omo na chese akoye se buachi bidin abusua ene MPP amanyuku no ene minority in parliament. So mobe kaya on the 7th of January, and now I can say on the eve of 7th of January 2021, yes. Sif adiabachi 7th na parliament huru gidigidi ne bi mu wia ballot papers e bi no mo we ballot papers ne enwa dia ne to blow ne obushafo ni nyina na say ni ye per majority in parliament, ni nyina na say ni ye per speaker of parliament, ni nyina na say ni ye per omu a sabio ombe control parliament. Na ade ya wo dia no ade a eye wo dia no kra besa ba won sen ade a nyame se eye wo dia no betimi akwa last minute nyame de wade ba be hye won sam si na da won sam a che se ontuntu che se onmowa onkuntokwa onsweti onkofa handkerchief van people when as if say we are Debi brebi anim wotu wa na ade ni Nyankopon de abehye wonsa because ade no eye wodia ene ede gifiri wonsam Ghana fo nyina di adanse say esan majority ya MPP fo no mo pe e wo parliament nti omo go to the extent of killing 10 people ewo 2020 elections no they killed 10 nipa 10 and you boom to because say no omo pe majority in parliament. And na ya busia mene mo kasai majority no abedi NDC for nsem na speaker of parliament ena ediko tu dwana me pese ye ko ni ekotie nkomo no se die esi koye o parliament. In fact there enye fadi agro afei na obehu speaker ne so mfaso afei ena obehu dienti ana omo ko hontokwa obi apese ni nipa na be speaker a NDC for di nkudim o parliament afei na obetimi biase afei na obehunu se saa na tumi bi chen tumi bi yankwe na yanko Ghana parliament na yankutie enkomo no embra sisi abusua mefa saa akwanya iso ebo saa enkai mede dawri edi amount efa eye border cross consult and border cross consult for say yemfa saa enkaboi emfanto manim say say upe akwantuo atu upe say otu kwan ko amanone say eye Europe say eye FN say America say eye Asian country baabi biara say bi upe say otu kwan ede kono akwanya abeda ho ede ama say wonso so ubetumi abu aketem akuduo die hia ne say obeba omo akachi anase omo asoeye na oni omo abekasa na omo aboa na watumi atusa na mona busia na mbesa obetumi afre na wodi onsa camp eye border cross travel consult for na oni omo atwetwe enkomo no eye 303 977 006 303 977 003 and that's 0500 41 0007 050041 0007. Me pacho ofro ma catch so nya number no e wo PENDREAM TV se na be on betimi aso mu yi na omon atimi aboa eye con just incredible nti ena ye ho ye bo ho dawu e de ama obusia wo hwe video na bombo de so be subscribe to the channel no na like video no share to other platforms mo so enya bi enhwe na ma sere se wo comment bi a fato comment section no as yenkotie nkomo no emra se de si e wo parliament.
Formal communication by the Speaker. You recall, I did state I was going to give my response to the statement that was made by the minority leader, which was commented upon, in fact, debated by the House. And so I want to redeem that pledge in the form of a formal communication. And with your kind permission, I proceed to do so now.
Biniyam.
Honorable members, I make this formal response to the House in relation to a matter of significant parliamentary and constitutional importance, which was brought to the attention of the House by the minority leader, Honorable Dr. KCL Atoba Forson, MP for Ajumako Enyan SM, pursuant to Order 93 of the Standing Orders of Parliament. The Honorable Minority Leader, with the indulgence of the House and with leave of the Speaker, raised a matter which he indicated was of urgent public importance in accordance with Order 93.1 of the Standing Orders of Parliament. The statement drew rigorous debate instead of comments on the floor of Parliament, and this reverberated to the public in a heated national discourse. The Honorable Minority Leader, as part of his statement, called on the Speaker to follow precedent and declare vacant the seats of 4 members of Parliament pursuant to Articles 97(1)(g) and (h) of the Constitution. The Honorable Minority Leader informed the House that he had come to the notice of the Minority Caucus that certain members of Parliament had taken actions that contravene the provisions of Article 97(1)(g) and 97(1)(h) of the Constitution. Specifically, the Honorable Minority Leader alleged that A. Honorable Peter Yao Kwache Aka, Member of Parliament for Amenfi Central, who was elected on the ticket of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, had filed with the Electoral Commission to contest the upcoming 2024 parliamentary elections as an independent candidate. B. Honorable Andrews Asiama Amwako, independent member of Parliament for Formina, and currently serving as the second Deputy Speaker, had filed to contest the 2024 parliamentary elections on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party, NPP. C. Honorable Kwajo Asante, Member of Parliament for Suhum, who was elected on the ticket of the NPP, had filed with the Electoral Commission to contest the upcoming 2024 parliamentary elections as an independent candidate. And D. Honorable Cynthia Mamile Morrison, Member of Parliament for Aguna West, who was elected on the ticket of the MPP, had filed with the Electoral Commission to contest the upcoming 2024 parliamentary elections as an independent candidate. In the light of these developments, the Honorable Minority Leader invited the Speaker to declare the seats of these 4 members vacant in accordance with Article 97(1)(g) and 97(1)(h) of the Constitution 1992. According to his submission, if these seats are declared vacant, the resultant effect on the composition of this House would be that the NDC would have 136 seats, while the MPP would have 135 seats, thus making the NDC the majority party in Parliament. This statement sparked intense debate in the House, with members raising questions of constitutional interpretation and the role of the Speaker in the enforcement of Article 97 of the Constitution, particularly in the matter of the vacation of seats by members of Parliament. It is therefore incumbent upon me, as Speaker of this House, to address these issues thoroughly. In doing so, I am simply applying the provisions of the Constitution 1992, Parliamentary Act 1965, Act 300, the Standing Orders of Parliament 2024, precedents, and established legal principles. The issue of interpretation and enforcement of the Constitution lies in the bosom of the Supreme Court and not that of the Speaker. And so I proceed to tell you my understanding of Article 97. Honorable members, at the core of the Majority Leader's statement are the provisions of Article 97(1) of the Constitution of Ghana, 1992, which govern the circumstances under which a member of Parliament shall vacate his or her seat in Parliament. The relevant subclauses of the provision read as follows. Article 91 states, a member of Parliament shall vacate his seat in Parliament. G, if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to Parliament to join another party or seeks to remain in Parliament as an independent member. Or H, if he was elected a member of Parliament as an independent candidate and joins a political party, unquote. Honorable members, my humble view is that Article 97(1)(g) and (h) operate to prevent what the old school refers to as cross-carpeting or carpet crossing, as witnessed in the early legislative councils and parliaments of the Gold Coast and the Republic of Ghana, respectively. Cross-carpeting is now part of what is referred to as defection or party switching, when a member of Parliament who was elected on the ticket of one political party leaves that party to join another, or when an independent member of Parliament joins a political party after being elected as an independent member, or a party member acts similarly. The concept of defection raises significant concerns about the integrity of political representation. When voters elect a candidate, they do so based not only on the individual's personal qualities, but also on the political party platform they represent. Party switching or defection, therefore, can be seen as a breach of the mandate and social contract between the member of Parliament and the electorate, as it changes the political dynamics that the voters originally endorsed. The prohibition of defection, as reflected in Article 97(1)(g) and (h), serves several critical purposes in maintaining the integrity of Parliament, parliamentarians, and protecting the trust and will of the people. The provisions of Article 97(1)(g) and (h) are designed to safeguard the principles of party loyalty, voter representation, and political stability. Defection is prohibited because it undermines the trust placed in members of parliament by their constituents and can lead to instability in parliament. These constitutional safeguards ensure that members of parliament remain accountable to both their parties and the electorate, and they prevent members of parliament from engaging in behavior that could amount to fraud or disruptive of the functioning of parliament. Honorable members, it has been suggested by some members that the provisions of Article 97(1)(g) and (h), which address the vacating of a member of parliament seat due to defection, should be understood prospectively. That is, they should apply only to future parliaments and not to the term of office of parliament when the act occurs. While this argument may appear to offer a practical approach, it must be firmly dismissed as both untenable and inconsistent with the constitutional purpose of these provisions. One may ask, what is Article 97 purposed to do? The clear intent of Article 97(1)(g) and (h), to my understanding, is to preserve party loyalty, engender trust, and protect the mandate of the voter and representation throughout the MP's term of office. These provisions are designed to prevent political instability, as I stated, opportunistic behavior, fraudulent representations, and disruption of parliamentary composition during the term of a parliament, by ensuring that members of parliament remain faithful to the mandate given to them by the electorate at the time of their election. To understand these provisions as only applying prospectively, meaning that they will take effect only in future parliaments, will nullify the purpose of Article 97. The provisions of Article 97 and the consideration are intended to address breaches of party loyalty and independent status as they occur during a term, ensuring that the House's composition remains consistent with the electoral outcomes. If Article 97(1)(g) and (h) were to apply only in future parliaments, it will render these provisions effectively superfluous. By the time the next parliament is constituted, any member of parliament who has defected or swayed political allegiance during the current parliament will no longer be in violation of the provision. They will start the next term aligned with their new party or as an independent. There will exist no defection, and the violation will effectively be wiped clean at the start of the term of the succeeding parliament. If the understanding of the provisions was futuristic, members of parliament could freely switch parties or become independent during the term of a parliament and pretend to be representing the interests of the people who elected him or her or the party on whose platform he or she rode to parliament, while paying loyalty to a different party or group of people with no immediate consequences. This is precisely what Article 97(1)(g) and (h) are meant to prevent. The provisions exist to curb, as I stated, defection, as it happens, not to offer a free pass to members of parliament to change allegiance during their term and only face no consequences, even in future electoral cycles. Under Article 97 of the Constitution of Ghana, there are indeed different modes through which a member of parliament shall vacate his or her seat, and these can be broadly categorized into two groups: The A is the one that we refer to as automatic or procedural, and the B is a matter of determination of fact. Certain modes of vacating a seat happen automatically or procedurally, either through the direct operation of law or institutional processes. These are relatively straightforward and do not require external determination of facts. For example, the dissolution of Parliament, the election as Speaker, the expulsion for contempt, and resignation of a member of Parliament. The second category deals with others where you require determination of facts. And those are the other provisions identified in Articles 97(1), C, E, and D. These involve more complex factual situations that are less clear-cut and may be subject to dispute, making them matters that likely require determination to ascertain whether a vacancy has occurred. Honorable members, it is important to note that the determination of whether a member of Parliament has resigned from their political party or has joined another party is a matter of fact. In 2020, during the tenure of Right Honorable Professor Aaron Michael Quay as Speaker of Parliament, a notable instance occurred when the New Patriotic Party notified the Speaker that the Member of Parliament for Formina, Honorable Andrews Asiema Amwako, was no longer a member of the party. The MPP requested that the seat be declared vacant in accordance with Article 97(1) of the Constitution, citing that the Member of Parliament had filed to contest the upcoming elections as an independent candidate, which violated the party's constitution. In response to this request and notification, Right Honorable Professor Aaron Michael Quay proceeded to declare the seat vacant. However, I must emphasize that this ruling made by the previous speaker does not bind other speakers, including myself. It is important to point out that in the present matter before the House, the notice of poll is available at the Electoral Commission on all the 275 constituencies. I have duly taken note of the notice of the poll, and furthermore, no member in making comments to the statement made to the House by the minority leader denies these glaring and notorious facts. And so, what is my role in all this? Honorable members, it is important to point out that the Speaker is called upon by the standing orders of Parliament, particularly Order 18, to inform the House of the occurrence of a vacancy of the seat of a member under Clause 1B to E, G, and H of Article 97 of the Constitution. Accordingly, I proceed to inform the House that by the notification of the polls, the following members of Parliament have by their actions vacated their seats in Parliament. The members are Honorable Peter Yao Kwache Aka, NDC MP for Amenfi Central in the Western Region, now referred to as an independent parliamentary candidate for the same constituency. 2, Honorable Andrew Amwako Asiema, independent member for Formina constituency in Ashanti Region, now referred to as MPP parliamentary candidate for the constituency. 3, Honorable Kojo Asante, MPP MP for Suhum in the Eastern Region, now referred to as independent candidate for the same constituency. And finally, Honorable Cynthia Mamile Morrison, MPP MP for Agona West constituency in the Central Region, now referred to as independent candidate for the same constituency. These MPs cannot be allowed by law and my good self to continue to pretend to be representing people that they don't believe in and they don't have any loyalty for in this house any longer. The house is accordingly so informed. Honorable members, I thank you for your patience and attention.
A teacher, majority.
Honorable members, please. Honorable members, may we have some order in the house? My response to what happened 2 days ago, and I don't think this is subject to debate. It's a communication to the House, and by our standing orders, it's information I have to give you, and I've done so according to my understanding of the law. Please, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, I thank you for the opportunity to make comments on the communication you have just delivered to the House.
May you kindly refer to the standing orders that you are coming under.
Mr. Speaker, I do not come under any standing orders.
So you may resume your seat then.
Mr. Speaker, you are the father of this house. And Mr. Speaker, you have communicated to the House a position you've taken. It's been our practice that any time you have come out with a formal communication, you give opportunity to leadership to make a response. Mr. Speaker, if today you do not want me to talk, Mr. Speaker, that should be it. But Mr. Speaker, if you say that...
Honorable member, you got it wrong. It's not the practice of the House that any time I come with a formal communication, I allow members to make comments. That's not the practice of the House. It's never been the practice of any of the houses that I have been member from 1993 to date. I have not had that as any practice of the House. Some speakers, including myself, may entertain some comments from members, but it is not a practice of the House.
Mr. Speaker, if it pleases you, I would like to make some few comments on the matters you've raised, because, Mr. Speaker, these are very grave matters. The matters you've raised are not light matters. they are very grave matters that I would want to comment. And Mr. Speaker,
So
please,
you want to seek my leave to make comments?
that is so, respectfully.
Now you agree it's not the practice,
Mr.
but you are just seeking my leave.
Mr. Speaker, as it pleases you, with your leave. With your leave.
Well, yes, you may do so.
Mr. Speaker, thank you once again for the leave granted me to comment on your communication you just delivered. Mr. Speaker, you underscored your submissions with a very important point, that the matter that came before us has interpretation reliefs, and that you do not have the power to interpret the Constitution, and that your duty is to enforce. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable member, you are not listening to me.
Mr. Speaker, may I finish with respect?
All what you said are wrong, so
Mr.
I
Speaker,
cannot continue to allow
Mr.
you
Speaker,
to keep on
Mr.
misleading
Speaker,
the House.
Mr. Speaker, please, if you think that this is your house and you didn't want us to talk, so be, Mr. Speaker, we should allow you
Honorable
to speak.
Majority Leader, you are addressing the Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, you may. I
Please.
need your protection. They must stop what they are doing.
I am in charge.
Mr. Speaker, then they may be quiet.
Please.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, in your ruling, my understanding was to the effect that your duty is not to interpret the Constitution. My understanding was to the effect that your duty is not to interpret the Constitution. But Mr. Speaker, it is important for me to emphasize one more time that when the statement was made by my respected colleague, Dr. Kisil Atufosin, I did draw the attention of the House, including your good self, to the effect that the matter being a very grave matter, I have taken it upon myself to seek the court's interpretation of the matter. Mr. Speaker, indeed. Mr. Speaker, I think
Honorable
I deserve
members,
some respect.
please,
Mr. Speaker,
let's listen
I think
to
I
each
deserve
other.
some respect.
Let's listen to each other.
No,
Please.
I think it is only fair.
Honorable Majority Leader, please address me. I'm taking care of that. Please,
Mr.
let's
Speaker,
listen to each other.
I did indicate that I have filed a process at the Supreme Court. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, the bailiff of the court had attempted to serve the process on the Director of Legal Affairs, and the Director of Legal Affairs and the entire legal directorate refused service because, according to them, there was a circular stating that they can only be served on Mondays. I saw the circular myself. Subsequent to that, I asked, hearing the intention of Mr. Speaker to come to a determination in one way or the other, the directed service, which is within my rights. Mr. Speaker, yesterday, Parliament was duly served.
Honorable member, please, I didn't want to interrupt you, but you are the majority leader and the leader of this House. As at the time you were directing service yourself, you took the trouble of coming to Parliament with two persons who alleged to be bailiffs and went to the legal office to yourself, directing officials of the legal office to receive the service. You are a member of Parliament. I am the Speaker. It is my duty to protect your privileges and immunities. In doing so, I had a discussion with the Chief Justice, and we came to an understanding that in the meantime, the Chief Justice issued a directive as to how service of members of Parliament, some officers of Parliament, and the Speaker could be effected. I communicated this to the House and discussed it with you, the leaders. We said that as we go along, we will together, Parliament and the judiciary, particularly led by the Supreme Court, come out with a legislation on this issue of privileges and immunities of Parliament, members of Parliament, and specified officials of Parliament. We discussed this. Based on this discussion, the Chief Justice issued a directive to all registries of courts in the country. And it is stated clearly there that the Speaker can be served on Mondays during working hours. There were reasons why we came to those agreements. You are aware of it. Yet you kept on insisting that service be effected whilst the Speaker was presiding over the proceedings of the House. You as leader of the House, as majority leader, you are saying that this was service because you threw the court processes on the table and walked away. Is that how you effect service? Please, to quote the common parlance, don't go there.
With respect, for the past 12 years, I have accorded you every respect, and I'll continue to do that no matter. Mr. Speaker, the facts you put out are not true. Mr. Speaker, these are credibility issues, so I will respond for the record. Mr. Speaker, somebody has told you something. Mr. Speaker, you reserve the right to be there to make your point. Let me make my point too. Mr. Speaker, no way. Mr. Speaker, no way. Mr. Speaker, whoever told you, Mr. Speaker, whoever told you that I threw a paper at somebody, this has to do with my credibility. I will not allow hands.
No, honorable member, you don't listen at all.
Mr. Speaker, I do.
I never said
Mr.
you.
Speaker, you said
I never said you threw a paper at anybody.
Mr. Speaker,
I never said
Speaker,
that.
that's exactly what you said. Let the answer check it.
You
Mr.
see,
Speaker, that is what you said.
You are being carried away by your
Mr.
anger.
Speaker,
You are not listening.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not angry.
Honorable member. Honorable member.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not angry.
I said the court process was thrown on the table in the office. I never stated it was thrown by you at any person.
Mr. Speaker, you said I allegedly sent some bailiffs. Alleged bailiffs.
No.
Mr. Speaker, then clarify. Mr.
Please.
Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with
Listen
respect,
to me.
Mr. Speaker, I'm listening.
Honorable Majority Leader, I don't want to proceed to make some orders. Please, resume your seat. I'm very serious about that.
Mr. Speaker.
Please, resume your seat.
Boa. Power past power. What do you mean?
Honorable member, your
o kasa obi antie wani abre kasa gidigidi na ye bo wa wi.
Coming events cast their shadows. We have Parliament now, elect with the executive.
Please kindly resume your seat. Minority Leader.
Right Honorable Speaker. The Speaker, first, let me start by expressing our profound gratitude for your erudite ruling on this very important matter of national interest. The Speaker, you have indeed done what is right for the people of Ghana by sticking to the tenet of Ghana's constitution, our standing order, and time-tested precedents being a case law for this House. The Speaker, permit me to congratulate the NDC Majority Caucus for standing firm from day one. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member, just a moment. I can see a cluster of some members at one corner of the chamber. Please, honorable members, either you resume your seats or you move out of the chamber of parliament. Please, honorable members, can you hear me? Please, Marshal, kindly perform your duty.
Mr. Speaker, as I said, permit me to congratulate the NDC Majority Caucus. Mr. Speaker, from day one, we have not reneged on our responsibilities to work for the people of Ghana. Today is the beginning of the process to reset Ghana. Mr. Speaker, our country has gone through a lot. We have always made our point, but unfortunately we've not been able to succeed because we're not having the working majority. But now we have the working majority. Right, Honorable Speaker, beginning the next parliamentary sitting, we'll begin the process to take over as the majority caucus of this parliament. And we thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, we have taken note of the fact that our colleagues, the minority caucus, the new minority caucus, have just walked out. But that will not stop us from doing what is right for the people of Ghana. We will do what is right. But their conduct exactly reflects the work of a minority. Mr. Speaker, we thank you very much for this ruling. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, yes, Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, unless you have any further information, I will move for the House to be adjourned till Tuesday next week, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
Honorable members, at least we need to take the correction of votes and proceedings and official reports. We need to take that.
Enti abusafo de dae koso ya eni pitiri ane enne ajebo eja anya abedru enne nyame adom NDC ena eye majority in parliament. NDC ena ne omo ebediteti de ebekoso ewo parliament sanse the MPP for Nam Akufo-Addo ene Dr. Baumia sembone sukunkum nipa ma nipa hwere omonkwa said ye be ya betumi abe majority in parliament no few weeks to elections ene sa authority no sa akakabensam any kitikiti near trimodin wickedness any brie enti omudi sabo ni nyina no nyame akatu agu ene abedi NDC for ensam menemo ekasa yi no majority in parliament the National Democratic Congress Dr. Atukesiel ono ena majority leader from hence abusia efe ede na nyame aye awie ni obi abeye bia na enkwisi aga mopa monko Supreme Court mopa monko High Court monko Lower Court monko Upper Court monko International Court of Arbitration enkwisi aga esan say the constitution is clear. You don't need Obi to interpret this for you. And yet, Sabu Obi and the Baba Kachira will say, we a common knowledge. For the constitution no ekase se Obi etwitu ekujina Obi so se fausika mamia na nipa no ediska no mano unwillingly a enfri ni mu a krono armed robbing abusiafo saa samna eda ho no sawuni bia sabe obekọ akotwitu anasi kan akojina Obi so aforce no so mfa ne sika mawo a wode be mawo enfri ni mu anase enye by consensus na mum etuo ni nti anasi kan nti na ode ni sika no ehye wonsam no armed robbery. No judge can turn this. No judge. Once about to the attention of the authorities, no judge can turn it. We constitution no clear or say parliamentarian beat parliament eba in the name of a particular party na biribinti or so wa defective party fufrum anaso koye independent sa nipa no according to constitution or say sa nipa no obehwere ne seat no as the parliamentarian ne manfo eto abama no wo nyinaso bi a no mu fi say ho no betumi attrust no so we NDC ni so we NPP ana CPP ni ena omodi sa nyinaso no ginaso enya omu gidie to abama o say sa ticket we so na fa wura e parliament na udi be wura ho na sa wo sesana constitution ne say wo no seat no ya speaker of parliament and calling vacant abusia so wo na oye ebia independent candidate ena woman for fee say no papa yi esan se wan kodi MPP for HND NDC for CPP ana se wan kodi political party bi achi na ono nko akogina konten kro enti ye nyina ye mfa ye tumi emfa hye nensa no mfa nko parliament na ukoduru ho na afei o say ukoduru ho no wahu se ne NDC for your made enti ye ofe anaso wakohu se ne MPP for edisika nyafu enti o pesa oko join ni omo a according to the constitution o say sao nipa no was a speaker of parliament declare ni seat no vacant I kire say wa lose ni seat GC san ekoto abafoforo wa lose u seat enti abusiafo enna menemo kasai no na akoba na say nipa enan atumi asori akase omo de omo eko independent na ba akoso say ono eko join the political party bi no automatically they have lost their seats and those seats are vacant. Ubiante so. Mrano so chere say from now, from 6 months to elections, say parliamentarian bi wu ana bibi nti ofiri ni seat a ya nkoto aba ye betwen na ye de akoto aba na nkasa. Enu nti ena obi ete say napo ni seat no ya ansan ankoto aba ewo so. Enu nti na napo seat no ya ankoto aba ewo so. Esan say na 6 months no aduru. Enti Supreme Court bi ani ho, judge bi ani ho, a obetumi abon hu musuo say the constitution no eka no ono de ne personal interest ebe ka say no speaker of parliament in your right. And yes, a judge no sa judge kro no ka Ghana ye nyina ide ani be hu judge kro na ye nyina ya ka yensam e de a kire no ye common sabio saying knowledge ya wo efa kakra na ya read no na yeso ya ka bibi e de a kire sa judge kro ne hu judge a sebe we mamboyfo na wo de why wadwen say woni MPP fo ne akufu ado mo beko nakra na mo di Ghana bone mo di Ghana dream masai Ghana ma toto Ghana ni munyam atoto fom e de akogi sika ne nyina e de ani ahwe de ebesi okrum ha. Yes, the media minim na me gidi say and someone a yet speaker of parliament waka no ne kwan so ano eno ano na me ya adoma Tuesday omoba ombekiki the motion no na say omode ahyehye so na afei ya sesa seat no na NDC abe majority na MPP abe minority we enye ntokwa ko eyemra masa eyemra enye ntokwa enye gidigidi enye mina me power forget it emre to meet sisa emre sisa emre dia dani o entinuma mbumi abunfia Nsumi bebawati aba emre bani dani emre dia dani entinuma mbumi abunfia Nsumi bebawati la.
There is time for everything, and so is there time for everything.
Aba
Others in your time.
Aba
Very soon he'll be
Aba
returned. The God who changes the times and seasons. The one who
what you say emre sisa obujanfo mungi nyankopon bi
lift them up.
na ade na mo pre ho no yedi da ba beto onsem
Let's go.
emre sisa emre dia dania and mamumi abonfia so memra beba what abuzia emre no esesa emre no edane. Yes, ene NDC amanyoku no ena eye efene saying majority e parliament wakum nipa omanipa hwede ne nkwa wi akire no ende Akufo-Addo does not own parliament. NDC parliamentarian ena eye majority. NDC ena ekuta speaker of parliament. Na Charlie Ebradi Jankopo. Nyameka so begu enmasia. Onyankopon. Mahama nyankopon no. Okase obegu anim asia na okase obedu asema mawa kakra ebetumi ache na so ebeba. Yes, Abuja ha PENDREAM TV. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, no share to other platforms. Say be a bit to me. Akwa ma for so etumi anya bia hwe. Na kire wadwen e comment section no ase efa mind. Nka ba me de ma no e kire mu a e kire se ye travel and tour. A friend say Jumako a friend border cross travel and tour for Echimua. A quantu biara eda wani so abusunya nans baabi a person ko bia UK, USO, Europe, Africa country bia person kom Asia, wherever the continent is. Wodie fa a friend say ufum na utetifum na fresh align ya medito edwa 0303 9770006 0303 9770006 and that's 0500410007 0500410007 part of border cross for from Akachom so nya number no PENDREAM TV abusia abrochire bia edam fua omodo ebeko ana wasan tumi aba chese bia fa eko down omo PENDREAM TV. I say Adam Yopo.
PENDREAM TV. Nyameshia opani edumakesi awoye. Debi ameshia o YouTube and all other social media platforms. It's Ramongo follow PENDREAM TV. Very fantastic talent. Doing a lot of the channel.
Debi kama amena PENDREAM TV ase. Now so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.